Welcome back to another video. I've been quite busy the last few weeks. I've been at Snetterton racing, which didn't go according to plan. I had a couple of mechanical issues and just sort of struggled all weekend really. So as you're watching this video, I'll be at Snetterton racing, and hopefully I'll be having a better weekend than we did at Snet. Dad just loves to do noisy jobs just as I start filming. He's currently got the hoover going as well as the air compressor in there. He's never ever hoovered in his life before, so why he's got the hoover out now I don't know. I'm very excited as I've managed to come together with the Classic Motorcycle Mechanic magazine to restore my very own motorbike. Now, I've wanted to restore a bike for a lot of years. I've always seen my dad doing restoration projects in the garage, and I'm now at an age where bikes that I rode when I was younger are nearly considered classic bikes, which is quite scary, and I'm sure might be even scarier for you if you used to watch my dad race and now you're watching me restore bikes into classic restorations. So I managed to get the original bike that I used to learn how to change gears on, which was a TY80, and I loved riding the bike at the time. I was 7 years old when I had it, and Dad bought it off a friend, which I then used for quite a few years really. It was 3 or 4 years. I went all over the country on it. I was never particularly good at trials riding, and trials riding was definitely not the sport for me. I did a day out at the Dougie Lampkin training school on the bike, which I still remember to this day as one of the most frightening experiences of my life. I was completely out of my depth, and I was probably there 5 minutes before I fell off, was upside down under this bike with it revving its nuts off, and that kind of scarred me off trials riding from that point onwards. After I'd finished with the bike, Dad became godparents to Rob McElnay's children, and his eldest son Harrison then was gifted this bike. So it was then with their family for a bit. He rode it for quite a few years, and then when the Classic Motorcycle Mechanic magazine asked if I wanted to restore a bike, I spoke to Rob to see if I could get my hands back on it. So here it is. This bike, I believe, came out in the 1980s. I'm sure someone will let me know below exactly when they came out. But that means that when I got the bike in 2000, I was 7 years old. So the bike was pretty much 20 years old then. We're another 20 years further on now. I'm 27 years old. So this bike's getting on for being 40 years old. And it's amazing for me seeing something that's 40 years old that still, in my opinion, looks great. And it brings back lots of good memories for me, as it was one of the first bikes I got to ride. So I'm really looking forward to pulling this apart. I've never actually restored a bike before. I've seen my dad do lots of restoration projects, and I've got half an idea of what to do. My mechanicking skills are not great by any stretch of the imagination, but I try my best and I'm always willing to learn. So I'm really looking forward to pulling this bike apart, taking it to all the various places it needs to go to. I'm firstly going to take the wheels out, get those re-chromed as they are all slightly rusty. Originally when we bought the bike, we bought some new bodywork for it, so that was the Dad and Lad restoration project. Back then, I'm sure Dad's happy to admit that he had no idea about restoring bikes. We basically got some new plastics, got someone to paint the tank for us, and got a rattle can and sprayed everything silver that was silver. So there's plenty of overspray on the bike's covered in it, and now looking back at what we did, it was shocking really. So the tight Scotsman in my dad told me that when we had the bike, we put brand new plastics on it, and it's hardly done anything since, so it won't need any plastics. Now, that is true, we did put brand new plastics on it, and it has hardly been ridden. However, they're now 20 years old. They've been sat in the sunlight for 20 years, and at best they're yellow, if not green. So definitely need to get some new plastics for it. I'm not telling my dad we're getting new plastics because the tight Scotsman in him won't let me buy them, but I'm really looking forward to putting those on. The next job is to take the tank off and all the other little parts that need painting. I'll get all those resprayed. The tank was never lacquered when we did it, so that paintwork is second hand at best. I'll then pull the engine apart, we'll get all of that refurbished. The exhaust also needs stripping back and repainting, as like the rest of the bike, it's covered in silver overspray. Once I've got the engine out and the frames apart, the forks also need to come out, as they've both got a leak on both of those. Now, I'm sure to some people watching this, they're experienced mechanics and they'll be laughing at me for getting help with this project, but I'm a rookie to restoring bikes. I ride the bikes mainly and I don't mechanic on them. I give it my best shot. and I'm willing to learn and ask for help where I need it. So I've never stripped a pair of forks before, so I'll take those forks to my friend Daryl, who works for me at BSB in my BSB team, and he also has his own company called IDP Motor at Silverstone. So Daryl will help me with all the bits I get stuck with to strip them down and restore them. And as I go, I need to look at an original bike to see exactly what I'm missing. If you can see anything on this bike that you know I'm missing, please let me know, because I'm no TY80 expert. I definitely need to get a new seat, as the seat's quite corroded and the handlebars are definitely not original. I remember as a 7-year-old being given a bike with pink handlebars and not understanding why a boy would have a bike with pink handlebars. So I can't wait to get rid of those 20 years later. I've always wanted to get rid of them. And I'll also replace the Donald Trump special Chengshin tyres, as they don't look like they've got a whole pile of grip, and I want to make it look nice. The big question is, 20 years on, does it still start? You need to put that on run. If this starts, oh, well, it's not going to start as the fuel pipe is not connected. Give me a second. Can I employ you as the starter so I can film it? I think you can appreciate how small this bike is now.
Quite new to this game.
You're stood next to it. Oh, look at that! Second kick.
I was so disappointed when you couldn't take on Debbie Lampkin with that. Disappointed. I wasn't angry, I was just disappointed.
That was my first experience of Mad Mark, I think. You pointing at me.
Go on.
Right, that's it. I'll end the video with that. I hope you enjoyed seeing my first ever bike restoration project. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with Mad Mark, who's holding the camera, very soon. All you need to know is he had an accident with a treadmill yesterday. If you want to follow Mad Mark, he's got new social media channels, and he's also got his own merchandise, which is coming out very soon, and you can also buy my merchandise on my website as well. I'll put the links below. That's it. Bye for now.